Oh, you're there. Well, since you're already here, you might as well tell me how you like the t-shirt that I got from Bronco Off-Rodeo, because today we are going to be talking about Bronco Off-Rodeo. We're also going to be talking about the Ford Maverick, the future of the Ford Maverick. What kind of hybridization are we going to get? All-wheel drive? Are we? Will we? When? We'll also be talking about electrification of the Maverick in regards to plug-in. When should we expect to have that come along? We'll also be talking about the upcoming electric Explorer, electric Lincoln Aviator, so great electrification projects coming out of Ford. Really pleased about that, so we're going to be talking about where those models are going to get made. Of course, we will dive in and really talk about when we're getting that all-wheel drive Maverick as well as a front-wheel drive plug-in Maverick, so very exciting. And then we'll go to the whole other extreme. We're going to go into the extreme performance. So we're going to talk about F-150 Raptor, Bronco Raptor, the brand new F-150 Raptor R, what this means for a Bronco Raptor R, what can we expect, when can we expect it. So we're going to be covering all that. We will also review, I wasn't actually reading, that's just a joke, an excuse to get you to see the cool t-shirt we got from Bronco Off-Rodeo. Also free swag, so we'll be sharing all the free swag we got there, telling you how we felt about it, whether it's worth it, whether it's not worth it. So we just want to share our experiences and what you can expect to get out of Bronco Off-Rodeo. So really what you could call this video is what can you expect from Ford video. So the future for future models, as well as what you can expect if you do go to their off-road event. So stay tuned with us. Please do like and subscribe because it does help feed and dress the poodle. That's our co-host scratching away at the bed because he loves to scratch when we're doing videos. And well, this is a video with Marie, so if you watch because you like having Marie's opinion on things, she will be part of the show. She will be talking about the channel's projects and what she truly thinks about my endless need for more cars and more power. Hopefully you find that aspect of the show interesting because we do switch a lot, of course. I start this video with my back turned because, well, I'd like to say we didn't turn our back on the Bronco because we still have one, and we'll talk to y'all about how we always want to have one, but we would also love your feedback in the polls to help guide the channel's projects and what we do with those projects. So let's just jump right in, put the pedal to the metal, and get right down to it. But for fun Bronco information, well, the F-150 Bronco numbers are out and they are pretty darn cool. Now, of course, I played through all my notes here. So I'll just run off memory. 418 horsepower, 440 pound-feet of torque, and it's a 3-liter EcoBoost engine. So that means generally EcoBoost means at around 3,000, basically 3,000 or 3,100 RPM, depending on the motor. This motor, it's about 3,000 RPM. You get all 440 pound-feet of torque, having it behave a lot more like a diesel than a V8. V8, generally, you have to work the RPM up higher to get all your power. So very cool, very enjoyable. That's going to be a lot of fun. And that's on the Bronco Raptor. But the F-150 Raptor, the really cool news is they've got the Raptor R, and that's a 5.2 liter V8 Predator engine. So wow, it's basically got a it's got a Shelby engine. It's gonna have all sorts of insane power. I'll put the exact horsepower at the bottom, but it's in the 700s if I recall correctly. And that's just mind-blowing. But what I really like about it is we've got a Bronco Raptor now, and it really makes me think that Ford is not just a company that's about history and continuing trends of the past. They also often have similarities from one model to another. So what's cool is I think there's going to be a Bronco Raptor R, and I think it'll get something bigger and more powerful than that current 3-liter. So I think that means it's either going to go 3.5 liter EcoBoost, which, you know, is a huge deal because remember, that's what the Ford GT has. So that has endless amounts of potential. we'll have to wait and see. What we do know about the Raptor right now, other than having that incredible engine with 700 and some odd horsepower, is it's been revealed through, actually it's really cool. Someone actually took the time to try to guess VINs, and they came across about 20 window stickers, and we know the colors are going to be avalanche gray. There's going to be apparently also azure gray, metallic tricoat. Ford likes to give long paint names. So code orange, iconic silver, Oxford white, antimatter blue, and agate black. So agate black, that just means really black.
Okay, it's not because there's a little color in the black?
No.
Like the antimatter blue?
You know, and it's not like
okay.
the new gray on the 2022 Mustang. That dark gray is nothing like the previous gray of other years, which was kind of like a medium to dark gray. That gray is so dark on our new Mustang.
Yeah, sometimes I see purple
black.
in it.
Yeah, sometimes we see a little purple. Sometimes we often see it as black. People thought it was black, people that I work with. So it actually, the dealer had put on the code on the key card thingy, they had written black. I'm like, it's the new gray. And they're like, oh yeah, that's true. So it looks black. So that's really cool. So someone actually took the time to look through a whole bunch of guessing at VINs to come up with eventual VINs on the Bronco. But what I really like about the F-150 Raptor R, which is just an incredible 5.2 liter supercharged engine, 700 and some odd horsepower. That thing's gonna be a beast, and I do really love these Raptor products. Very cool. I have more of an issue with the fender flares on the Bronco Raptor. You have a big issue with the grill.
The grill, because I love when it's written Bronco in the front. So,
yeah.
But in the F-150, you know, I really love the Raptor. So
yeah, I'm
happy you talk about that.
You're a truck girl, and I was actually surprised that you jumped on board for a Maverick, but that's because, you know, we've driven the Maverick, and that thing is surprisingly great. You know, it kind of goes back to, you know, knowing your beats. So the Hyundai advertisement is saying basically, what were they saying exactly? That they're just, you know, crushing the F1, the Ford Maverick, which is really ridiculous. To quote the advertisement presented as journalism, as news, it said, quote, "The Ford Maverick doesn't stand a chance. Hyundai Santa Cruz wins every time." Well, that's ridiculous, because so far this year in 2022, you have basically half as many sales. So I was actually surprised that you liked the Maverick so much after having been a huge F-150 fan, saying you like being high up, you love the Bronco because you're high up and massive.
When we had the F-150, I was really loving it, but after around 6 months, I could say, I was tired to park that big thing.
And now gas costs more.
In parking lot.
And you're paying 85 cents to $1 a liter by the time we sold that.
And now it's almost at $2 now.
$2.05.
Canadian.
Yeah, it's more than doubled actually.
Yeah, so I was tired to park that big thing, so I really love the Maverick because I will be able to have things in the trunk, but not having the trouble to park it. And at the same time, I will miss so much the top down. Like the Bronco, we can do that with the Bronco. The Maverick doesn't have it for sure. It's a truck, but I really love to. I would really love to try the hybrid. So that's the next step for me, is trying the hybrid and having a little truck that is easy to park.
You loved your test drive. The inside of the Maverick is huge, surprisingly. Yeah, and what I really look forward to, I don't know about you, but I always want to have a Bronco in the yard, but I definitely do look forward to a plug-in Bronco. And that's either going to come as a mid-model refresh, which would be generally on the 3rd or 4th year, because generally you get a whole new model. So we'd be on to Bronco generation 7th edition, 7th generation. Usually a model lasts 5 to 8 years at Ford. So are we going to get it on the 5 to 8 year mark where we get a plug-in Bronco, or will we actually get that as a mid-model refresh. I don't know. All I know is
we are getting there with each model. You know, the F-150 Lightning. So I don't know.
Electric.
It's for sure they can do that with the Bronco.
The Maverick is definitely going to be going. I'm certain. I'm convinced and totally convinced that it's not all that complicated to get an all-wheel drive hybrid Maverick. So that I'd say is definitely going to be down the road. You know, Jim Farley has said that all the icons are going to get, you know, electrified, which means either hybrid, plug-in hybrid, or all electric. And speaking of which, recently Jim Farley did talk about the all electric Explorer as well as the Lincoln Aviator all electric being pushed back to 2024. Now, I highly suspect this is going to get built in the Oakville, Canadian plant because our Prime Minister was, you know, talking about electric production going there. We also know that the Edge is going to be discontinued, probably somewhat replaced by a Fusion station wagon, which is kind of a little bit like the Subaru Outback. I wouldn't be happy if I was Subaru right now because Subaru used to be the king of off-road in regards to SUVs and vehicles.
That's true.
And now they are really, Ford is taken over. Ford is really taking over.
It's surprising with the Bronco.
The Ford Maverick has basically doubled the sales of the Santa Cruz. So, bad advertising, fake journalism. And it's going to be cool. I look forward to an all-electric Explorer. I mostly really always want to have a Bronco in the yard. I've absolutely loved it. So I look forward to that.
We just need it now. It's not we want it. We need it because it's so fun to have the top down, to have the four wheels, and have a big SUV. So.
Yeah, we're willing to pay more to have a big SUV where we can take the top down. We're willing to pay more in gas. Do we want to pay more gas? Heck no. And in Quebec, currently, electricity is quite inexpensive.
Yeah, but we didn't know if it stays like that because
once everyone wants more electricity.
And we know that there's a law that will pass in Quebec that in, is it 2034? They want to have all electric cars here in Quebec. So that's for sure, now it's not as expensive, but when everybody will have an electric car, I'm not sure they will price up a little bit the electricity, I guess.
Well, the one thing I hope for is, I hope if you're out in a region where you only have one provider for electricity, I think that's really awful. That is not how capitalism is supposed to work. It's supposed to be about competition, making things better,
affordable too,
and less expensive because there's actual real competition. But if you only have really a few owners owning hundreds of companies, well, then there's not actual competition because you can just work out whatever price you want. You can have a cartel in regards to price when you only need to talk to one other person or no other people. Just talk to the head owner of these 100 companies. But the main thing is when you've only got, one electricity provider, well, they can say, oh, well, it's doubling in price because demand. But demand? Okay, first of all, while we move forward with electricity, we need to start harnessing the electrical power from currents in rivers and currents if you're near the ocean, because the current in a river will always be there, and the current of the ocean it's not the sun. It's not going to get blocked out by clouds. It's not going to get blocked out by volcanic ash or debris caused by mankind. The currents will always be there, and we need to start harnessing that power and having very low cost electricity. But that's my 2 cents.
It will be in the future, because for
that's
now
my
it's
rant
cheap,
for tonight. My other rant for tonight is we need to also stop having stop signs when we have a two-way.
It's annoying you so much.
It drives me crazy. You've got like a main, it's like a river where you'd say, well, we need to block the river to let a little bit of water come in from the little stream because, once a month there's rain. And anyways, it's ridiculous. We've got these side streets where you'll never, in 3 years of living here, we've never seen a car actually waiting at the stop sign. But
we have stop everywhere here.
You stop the main line of traffic, you create annoyances, you use up my brakes and my suspension. And that's my rant for today, but it's absolutely ridiculous because these governments, they talk about being environmentally friendly and they throw in more stop signs to give tickets. So anywho,
it's for the environment. You're annoyed for that.
I'm annoyed for the environment for the most part. But that's that. What do you think about the channel's, the channel's new projects? We're really sad to say bye to a Bronco, but we are about more cars and more power, and we were being offered a decent amount more than what we paid, and it'll bring, new adventures and new projects to the channel. So first of all...
And it brings back a Mustang GT in our yard.
So you are happy about that?
We missed that. Last summer we had one. It was the first... It wasn't the first GT that you had.
Oh, no.
No, you had it one before, but with me it's the first one I see at home.
It's because you don't count 90s Mustang GTs as GTs.
Oh yeah,
but
I didn't count the old one.
You've laughed at me before for being one of the only people that would buy back their own car, the Toyota MR2.
Yeah, that's the other project, huh?
That's the other project, but
only John can do that. Buy a second time the same car.
do you know between the time we met and the time I was married, did you know that I had a 95 Mustang GT convertible?
Oh, a 95. Was it the green one?
It was the green one, yeah. And then I got a 94 teal, but at least it wasn't the same serial number. But the MR2 is the same serial number. And on a funny note, I was going... I'm going to go through that vehicle and see what treasures I find, because who knows, maybe I still have my own money underneath the seat.
But you found a stuff that was yours. What was it? An old copy of your car insurance?
No.
What did you find in the MR2?
Well, I'll do a video on it, but I actually found my old Costco card from 2007, so proof I owned it in 2007. No, whether my memory is correct or not.
Still there.
It was there, and I had a a kid, not a kid's chubby face. I was in my 20s, but I had the big cheeks. But anyways, I'm going to show this to you and probably film it for you all. But thank you for voting for the Mustang GT, because that's really what I wanted another off-road vehicle, but I actually test drove, and I'll probably bring it to the channel, but as a review. But I test drove that Rubicon Jeep, and I just found it didn't deal well with our horrible roads. It was not pleasant.
At the same time, I really love the look.
Oh, the look was great.
I wanted to have one, but we are happy with the GT because there's a cool feature in it.
Yeah, the sound is incredible.
The sound, and we don't have to be shy to annoy the neighbor at midnight, because we can put it in quiet mode.
Silent mode.
Silent mode,
Silent mode, yeah.
So it's
track
fun.
mode, which is to only be used on a track, because it'd be so awful and illegal to hit track mode on your everyday drive to work. But that mode, wow, the sound is incredible. And it's nice to have an exhaust that adapts. If you're smart, you won't upset your neighbors, because we have had an F100, 1978 F100, full rotisserie paint job, built up engine, and I had the cops called on me for starting that because I wanted to go to work at 8 in the morning, because, how dare I go to work? So we've had that.
Making big noise and smell gas a lot. Yeah, it's a headache.
How did you feel about that very quiet Z28 1978 Camaro? The Camaro Z28, that was so quiet
at all.
Nope.
And it was, I didn't feel secure in that car because it was shaking, but you were doing stuff with the pedal too.
It was a manual, and sometimes
you had so much fun with
pop the clutch and drift most corners. I was younger.
I was I will die in that car. I don't want to die in
I can't believe that I sold that for like $6,000, and now in the condition that it was in would be worth more like 15, maybe even 20.
No. You had it's not a curtain, it's a pool bath towel with a wolf on it.
It was a blanket with a wolf. I didn't install that. I would never install
it doesn't work that much with that.
wolf print on a Camaro, but yes, that was a little special. So
you were lucky I was already with you, because if it was a date and I saw a wolf on the rooftop, I would be like, no, no deal.
You'd assume that I wear a Speedo at the beach, right?
Yeah, kind of thing.
How could you assume such a thing of me? I like honest journalism, so I like to keep it classy. But anyways, Bronco Off-Rodeo, because I want to change the subject. I'm a little awkward right now. You never make me ready.
Don't speak about the Camaro anymore.
Yeah, let's never talk about the Camaro again. So before we talk Bronco Off-Rodeo, Ford did patent a hybrid vehicle launch control system. Launch control system, for example, is you pick 3,000 RPM, you get to rev it at 3,000 RPM, and then it just takes off. So you get to take off at your optimal revolution per minute of the motor. Get the sweet spot is when your tires don't spin, but the motor's high enough so that you're already in your, kind of starting to have a bit more, what you could say peak power, but not peak power in the sense that, 4,000 RPM and you spin the tires. So anyways, that is a patent that Ford passed. And that makes us think that Mustang hybrid, more evidence that we'll have a hybrid Mustang. So very cool. I hope they add the hybrid to the GT because I want that sound, and I also want the capacity to be able to go to work 100% electric. That's also what I want with the Bronco. I want to plug in so I can go to work all week long 100% electric. And I would have loved a V8 in the Bronco just for the sound, but you know what? I guess we got forced into having a Mustang. Smart. Ford. Very, very smart. You've tricked me into having both a Mustang and a Bronco.
But it's the best of both worlds. Both of them, you can remove the top and have a little sun in the summer, so that's perfect.
So I think we need to thank the channel and all the subscribers, because in the past we would have never been able to have two vehicle on payments. And I just finished paying two Broncos at the same time, and that would have never happened. So
it's because of you guys. Thank you. And
thanks for voting for the Mustang GT.
Yeah, and if you want to see more cars like that, you want to make John change cars again to do some other reviews, please tell a friend. We need more subscribers to do that.
Yeah, well, really, if you want to help out the channel, if you subscribe or if you get a friend to subscribe, you're really helping out the channel. If you become a member like Ridgeview or Tim Bart's, Long MacArthur, he's got Ford Video Guy as a channel. Love the channel. So if you become a member, obviously that is the biggest help, but subscribing is free. It doesn't cost you anything. You may not like... Yeah, and we do all sorts of types of videos. We do a bit of lifestyle. We goof off a bit, and we also have just, plain out news. So we do a bit of everything. You'll never like everything we do. That's okay, because, we kind of go with the flow and do what we feel like, just like Off-Rodeo. That was all about what we feel like, and the channel really brought us there. And actually, we've had a subscriber, Ridgeview, in the past when we were going down to Florida. We would have never gone down to Florida. Ridgeview paid for the coffee, so thank you, my friend. You kept us awake enough to avoid hitting deer in Canada.
Making the vacation more happier.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah. I enjoyed bringing y'all along. So that's what's going on with that. How did you like Bronco Off-Rodeo in New Hampshire?
I loved it so much. When we arrived there, the crew member there for the Off-Rodeo was so nice to us. Super nice. They gave us a gift because we were going in the forest. It was hot, so we received a Yeti mug, and we know that the Yeti mug is the greatest to let the water cold.
It's great, and we're so happy to have it because it's beyond. I'm too cheap for you normally.
But it was
we almost bought a Yeti cooler because we were just like, this thing is so awesome.
That was everywhere, Yeti stuff, huh? Yeah, so I'm happy to have it now, and it was a part of the trip because it was a big sunny day. It was hot, so we needed cold water, and we have a little souvenir here. It's written Bronco Off-Rodeo, like the stickers that they sold here. Sorry.
So free gift. Now we're feeling rich and classy with this
We have
Yeti.
souvenirs.
We've got souvenirs.
Yeah, and during the off-rodeo, when we answer some good question about stuff, we receive stickers, and I really love that one. Look at the color; it's so cute.
You're making us sound like we were comfortable answering questions. We were both too shy, but at one point she's like, "All these people are winning stickers. Win me some stickers," and she's like nudging me, "Give an answer, give an answer." I'm like, "You give an answer. I'm shy. Like I'm not comfortable in public."
The first time, because in between each parkour, they ask us some question to win stickers, and the first time it was about when you get stuck, what do we do? How do you name that article to make you not unstuck? How can I say that?
Yeah, unstuck. Why
unstuck.
not?
Okay,
unstuck.
I have the good word. Okay, perfect. And it was all in English, so I'm like, John, I don't know the word in English. Please, you speak English better than me. Please respond to a question. I want a sticker that we can put on the car. We finally get each of us one a sticker, so we're happy with that. And at the same time, we buy a little souvenir.
Yeah.
So
we also bought a t-shirt. The t-shirts out there were really cool, and were like New Hampshire specific. So, and they had all sorts of accessories, and we hope to bring that footage to you all. Just a matter of, at this point, we've got so much footage. We're like, well, do we release footage on the Rubicon Jeep? Do we release footage on the 4Runner?
We have so much to show you.
Yeah, I make sure that I drive these vehicles. So when I talk about Bronco, I'm talking about Bronco from, not just, oh, I love it because it's the only vehicle I've ever driven. I'm talking about it because, I've made sure that I've, driven a 4Runner, that I've driven a Tacoma, that I've driven a Tundra, that I drive a lot of Fords. That's just, normal because more cars and more power. I've owned a ton of Fords, but...
And that's why you ask people, do you want to see more Mustang GT or
I've got
Jeep Rubicon?
I've got the footage. It's just about, where do I put my 2 to 5 hours of editing. It doesn't always show.
And we want to see your interest, so thank you so much to respond to that, because we really want to know your opinion.
Yeah, we really do, because we got all this footage and you're like, well, where do people want us to go? And obviously, we know that on the channel, there's a lot of interest in the Ford Maverick stuff, and we always want to continue that.
That's why I wait for my Maverick and I don't change my order.
No.
Because I love you guys.
No, it's because you're hard-headed. You want your heated seats and heated steering wheel.
At the same time,
maybe both.
I'm pretty happy. I drove a Bronco, and now I will have the chance to drive the Mustang, so I'm pretty happy anyway to wait.
Yeah. And you'll have to pay. You're gonna pay the Maverick. That's your vehicle. Whereas when you had the Bronco,
it will be mine. It's been a long time since I have a vehicle under my name.
Yeah, and the Bronco, the second Bronco was my vehicle, but honestly, the channel was paying it, and people sometimes think, oh, if you do YouTube, it's a ton of money, but often it's like $20 or $30 for a video. But when you make,
it always depends.
If you make 20 videos in a month, well, there's your Bronco payment. So thank you so much for liking and subscribing. We've got the 3S GTE MR2, so that's the engine code. It's got a 1997 engine, low miles. It's got a little oil under the hood spewing from the blow-off valve. So that is currently hopefully not a major issue, but it looks like a hunk of crap, and we're gonna put 10 grand, maybe 12 grand into it.
Just because it's sentimental that you buy it back.
I met it. I met you when I had that vehicle.
Yeah.
I had to have it back.
But at the same time, when we see it a few days ago when you were buying it, we're like, what is John doing buying an old car like that? But it's sentimental, so we want it back.
Honey, here's an example. When I didn't see you for, let's say, 5 years, because we were friends and from like 2005 to 2007, 2008.
You remember how look? I
remembered before. How you looked. You still look young. But let's say I would have called you up and we meet up for a date, and you would have weighed an extra 30 or 40 or 50 pounds. How would you have felt if I would have just gone, No, that's too much work.
But the car is not bigger.
Okay, the car is not bigger, but the car is the paint condition.
It's not that youngest as before.
It's kind of in a bit of a crap condition. The bumper is cracked. The hood vents are cracked.
It needs your help.
The engine's covered in oil because there's some sort of oil leak going on. It needs a little attention and a little love. So, even if when I met back up with you, you would have been, I don't know.
I needed attention too?
Yeah.
Like the MR2.
Yeah. You know what?
You know what? Drink to that. Don't say anything.
I'm only digging myself a hole, so I'm just going to say that I would have been running after you either way. So the MR2 is like that when you've got an old love on your heart. It doesn't matter what's going on. A good person is a good person and had to have you in my life, and I had to have that MR2 in my life.
It will be a fun project. It will be different, but it will be a fun project, for sure.
It might not be fun, but we do hope.
It's stressful for now.
It's super stressful.
To buy many parts.
So much money, and then it's not just about buying parts. It's like, what fits an MR2? I know what seats I want. I want bronze seats, the company Brom. But do I get red? Do I get tan? Will they even fit?
You need to match the color in the outside and in the inside.
I have to paint the outside. I have to redo the inside. Everything is just hunky. And you know what?
John is a little bit colorblind, so it's a big project for him. I need to say, no, it doesn't match, honey, because he didn't see the color that much.
Yeah, because when we first started living together, I was really happy because we used to leave for work at the same time. So for quite a while, you had to help me choose my clothes because I couldn't match the clothes. And then when you started working earlier than me, I was like, oh, okay, I have to remember what goes with what. And I kind of, memory-wise, visually, I remembered what clothes I'm allowed to wear together and what clothes was yet to be approved. So then sometimes at night, I'd be like, does this work? Does this work? And you'd be like, no, you look like a dummy. So she's definitely going to be helping with the project. So even if you don't like Toyota MR2s, if you like Marie, stick along because she's going to be there. We'll also probably either in videos poll y'all for your opinions and your help. You picked the Mustang GT. Thank you. Really happy with it because that actually does drive better than the Rubicon. The comfort is better. I took the same curve getting onto from the highway off-ramp onto the horrible main road. Covered in bumps. The Jeep skidded across it. The steering wheel went all over the place. The Jeep took it like a pro. Takes bumps like, the Mustang took it like a pro. The Jeep took it like a word that rhymes with pro but is a negative. But anyways, the Mustang GT took it like a pro. But that reminds me, Bronco Off-Rodeo. Two things I learned. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's fine.
Okay, Bronco Off-Rodeo. Two things. Our little base Outer Banks, it has leather in it and the 12-inch screen. It's really everything we want, but it's base in regards to off-roading because it's all a plastic front bumper. Anyways, the hooks that are on that, hidden in the bottom, they are recovery. So you can use those as recovery points and connect. The other thing we learned at Bronco Off-Rodeo, they kept saying thumbs up when you drive. And all off-roaders will tell you thumbs up when you drive. But I'm proud to say
never cross,
and that's fine. But I did stump them when I said, why the worry with thumbs up when you have EPAS, electronic power assisted steering? When you have electronic power assisted steering, I really don't think it's possible for the steering wheel to snap turn. And anything's possible. Maybe there's some rare situation, but generally, not only is a Bronco superior on the road, not only does it take bumps better, it corners better because it has torque vectoring, meaning if you go into a corner at a high speed, instead of having a ton of body roll and then having all your weight on two wheels, making the other two wheels have very little weight, very little traction in sliding or rolling, they break the front interior wheel, helping to evenly distribute the weight. That's really good in a corner, but the independent front suspension also makes it that it doesn't dance around in the front. It very little dance around. But thumbs up when you're off-roading a Bronco. Yeah, why not? It's a good habit to have in case you drive something else. But I don't think that steering wheel is ever going to have the snap that could, you know, injure or break your thumbs. So let me know in the comments section what you think in regards to that. Electronic power assisted steering, really cool, high-tech stuff. Torque vectoring to keep the weight distributed evenly so you can on-road drive the Bronco, as suspension-wise really superior to the Jeep. We almost bought a Jeep, and then, you know, I had my my reservations, and I said, hey, let's let the channel decide. They've helped us, and they've helped us out a ton. They've brought us to things we would have never done, and they've made our lives better.
And thanks to you, we're back to the old love, the Mustang.
So why not let them decide? But we are excited that you took the Mustang GT. Quite pleased. So thank you so much. Mind you, we're going to wrap this video up. No more questions from you.
Good, nice and slow.
Covers all.
Covers all. Let's wrap this video up. Wish you all more cars and more power. And if it's your thing, we do hope that you do get to put the pedal to the metal. And if you put the pedal to the metal to a Mustang, remember, don't put it in track mode. Because in track mode, it's one of the rare vehicles on the market that actually really do pretty much turn off pretty much all electronic aids. So when you do see Mustangs driving and hitting, coming out of a car show and hitting all the other cars or people or whatever crowds, that's not the Mustang's fault. That's the driver. They've put it in track mode. They've said, I don't need technological help. I'm an amazing driver. And guess what? They're not. It almost happened to us, because I've often spun off with the Mustang in the past and never had issues. But those big, thick, sticky tires, when you are in track mode, when you do let go of the gas, your tires are spinning, you're controlling your spin, you let go of the gas, well, guess what? The tires stick and you go off in a direction. So let the Mustang's technology. I've learned I'm never gonna go past sport mode. We'll see. I say never, but you should never say never. But thank you so much for watching. Thanks for your support. And Winston, well, he finally wants his steak night because he looks depressed on the bed. So
he's tired to talk about the MR2.
Yeah. Take care. Have a great week.